everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you pre-recorded podcasts where we talk about animes, we talk about the art of cosplaying, colors, holidays, and so much more. Today's theme is going to be about wigs, such as wig care, wig maintenance, how to style a wig, and all that fun jazz. But before we get into today's recording, I would like to introduce the lovely guest and tea sippers here with me, starting with
Moody. Hi. You can find me on TikTok, Insta, League, Overwatch, anything as Moody McSnooty. If you want to find me on TikTok, it's Moody McSnooty too. Thank you, TikTok, for that. And yeah, that's me.
Hello, wonderful audience of Cosplay Tea Time. I am BelladonnaRoseCosplays. You can call me Bella or Rose. It really doesn't matter. It's also your preference, so I have two names out there for you. I do not mind. Either one of those names is fine too. You can find me on Instagram under BelladonnaRose.cosplays, and on my Instagram, I do have a link tree where you can find all of my other fun social medias. I just not only do cosplay though, but I also do commissions and stuff. And I'm also, as of this point, a temporary licensed cosmetologist. I'm on my way to being fully licensed. So
let's go.
We'll get there. Hey! Okay, Jen, everybody wants to know the host, the fun-loving host.
Oh gosh, hostess with the mostest. That's me. Yes, my name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time as well as today's host. I go by she, her pronouns. You can find me YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Jen.Cosplays45. And I am cosplaying as Komi-san from Komi Can't Communicate. So, intros out of the way, we just have one fun Weissbreaker question. Everybody has a Weiss plushie but me. I'm so sad. One day I will get my own Weiss. But yes, just one icebreaker question, which is, what is an anime food that you want to try?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to say the food from Ponyo. I think it's the ramen. Is it ramen?
I think it's ramen.
Yeah, I want to try that. It looks so good.
Oh no.
You see, I'm Armenian and we really love food. But I think the food that most catches my eye that I do want to try is, I forget the name of it. You guys can give me the name of it. Comments or in the recording box.
Yeah.
But you know, they're triangle. They're made out of rice. I think they have something in the middle of them that is like really yummy. But then they have like a strip of seaweed on the outside.
I forgot what they're called. Oh god.
I think it starts with the letter O.
I think it's called. I don't know. I think it might be called Minori or something, but that might not be Minori. As you can see, I'm not just feeling like a Kaminari. I look like a Kaminari.
Yeah.
I'm playing a Kaminari.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Maybe we'll have like an image or something with the actual what it's called. I know what it's called, and I've seen it. And both those things that you both described sound really, really yummy. Especially since I only had a cup of instant ramen, so like the ramen from Ponyo would be super delicious. I'm trying to think, what would I want to try? Maybe Winry's apple pie from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. They talk about it and stuff, but I would really want a slice of like warm apple pie with like cinnamon and like a tall glass of milk on the side right now. Like,
or maybe Summer's famous cookies.
Yes, Summer Rose's cookies.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with Summer Rose. She's just, she's a very beautiful and stunning and inspiring woman.
Yes. So I see more of her story in the future. Kruby, get on that. Anyway, topic for another time.
Please.
And the reason why I bring up anime food is because right now we're doing a cookbook. We're trying to get some submissions in. We'll have links down below for the form, the video on how to fill out the cookbook form and everything, so you can get your submission in and be a part of the collaboration. It's all good and fun, so that's the good stuff. Alrighty, so we got our little icebreaker question out of the way. We're just going to cut to a quick commercial break, which is... Alright, so if this is your first time joining Cosplay Tea Time podcast, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're just a group of fun-loving cosplayers. We come, we have some tea or other beverages, we talk about different themes, and then, viewers out there are also taking a moment out of their day to listen as well. So thank you. And not only that, if you're a fellow cosplayer and you would like to join, do message us on our Instagram. We have the link tree down below. We'll get you squared away in our Discord server so you can attend podcast recordings, or if you just want a cool cosplay community, very wholesome, very loving, awesome people up in here in Cosplay Tea Time. So yeah, totally recommend just coming and joining for the vibes. So make sure to message us. And again, just want to say thank you to those that have supported us, who have joined and whatnot. It's been an awesome adventure for sure. Alrighty, so now we're going to be talking about the topic of the hour, which of course is wigs. These are mostly going to be, I believe, like costume wigs that we wear for cosplays, whether we're going to be talking about styling wigs, if we've pre-commissioned wigs, like had somebody else do like a commission. Mine's trying to poke my eye out, come on, and stuff, and, how to wear a wig and all that stuff. Goodness me. Mine is fighting me today. So we're going to start with an easy question first, which is, out of all the wigs that you own, which one is your favorite?
Ooh. I don't know. I want to say my penny wig, but my penny wig is 100% heat stroke of me wearing it. If it's hot out. Though I'd say my favorite... Oh my god, I don't know. I need to look at my wigs.
Who's the favorite child?
Who's the favorite child? I want to say Hutel. Even though it's like 50 pounds. It's Hutel. I'm gonna get like a neck fracture from it.
Oh gosh. We'll cover that topic another day.
Yeah. Or my Araka one.
Oh, Araka's cute.
Araka's good.
Adorable.
I'll wear this in the meantime.
I heard Denki Kaminari, like, has a crush on her.
Oh, no.
I asked her out during the anime, and I'm like, that's adorable! But then it's like, she has hearts for Deku, so it's like, he's gonna be like, aww.
I know. If this fits.
Got it. Alright, Bella, favorite wig.
So my favorite wig I've styled and done is definitely it's actually between low budget cosplays, Hatsumi Miku wig and my Jinx wig, which my Jinx wig is behind me. I really find it fun to work with longer wigs because not only do I get to use my horse detangler, it's by mane and tail. You'll know what it looks like when it says detangler on the front. They have a shampoo and conditioner, but what you really need for your wigs is the detangler. But with my friend Low Budget Cosplays wig, I did this during cosmetology school. I didn't charge her because it was my first wig I've ever styled, and it was a long wig too, and One of the pigtails was just knotted up super bad, and I took the time to like brush it out, prep it, do another brushing session, and then I just went in with the crimping process, doing an old-fashioned crimping method because at the time I didn't have a crimper. And then, I just sprayed it down, styled it down, and then when I presented it to her, she was like, I'm in love! And then I think a month later, I presented, like, little cute Hatsumi Miku themed bows that she could wear with it for Christmas, and she really liked that. So she was definitely my favorite out of the clients that I have styled wigs for. Jinx, however, was a different story. So with Jinx, I got her from a Depop seller who got the wig from I think Amazon or something, and she didn't like it, so she put it online to sell. Well, for my birthday, I actually had over $100 that I earned from like a previous job that I did during the summer. I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I'll buy it and stuff. And she was super nice. So I bought it and I waited, and it came in, the mail and stuff. And I remember I was trying to hide this look from my parents because I wanted my Jinx cosplay to be a surprise because this character I have a super deep connection with, just for like very deep reasons and meanings that I will not, I think it's too personal for me to tell.
Yeah.
But with her, she was originally the length past my butt, and I extended her with, synthetic braiding material. I did do a detangling session with her, but then I put hair tinsel in her, and then I rebraided her back up. I added the extension pieces with like the tinsel, mixed in it. We were talking to a hairstylist from, another salon during my shadow days during last summer. And she told me to kind of do that. So I did that. I'm like, this works out just great. I love this. So here I am. I'm like braiding it back up, and I'm working with the bangs on myself. I'm deciding, do I want to crimp it or not? And I said, I kind of don't want to crimp it because the bangs are already a little bit big, and that would just be too much for me to manage. So I left the bangs as they were. I made the little accessory pieces, and I put them on and stuff. And I think throughout most of the process, it was around the time whenever college was hosting Frankenstein, and I was doing wigs and costumes and all that fun jazz. And one of my friends, she was watching me do most of the work, and she's just like, I can't wait to see this wig. And it was just very exciting because as I was working on this wig too, she also slept over at my dorm, and it was just a fun bonding experience that we had. And when I was done with the wig, the seller on TikTok, I gave her my TikTok, and I had a process video that I have with it on there, and she was like, I love this, I love what you do with it, and now she's just super excited every time she sees the wig. So I really had a bonding process when it came to working with not just my Jinx wig, but also my Jinx cosplay. And yes, we are talking about wigs. Coco Kaminari as the person you're dressed as today. But I really had a huge, while building the wig and building the cosplay, I had a healing session with myself.
Yeah.
I had like a connection. It was
love it.
Great.
Oh, when it all comes together, it's like hee.
No. I remember me crimping my penny wig. I got like a crimper specifically to crimp my penny wig. but when I did it, it didn't work. So I had to do it the long way and braid all the hair into like tiny things and put it in water. And so it took me like I think like 2 days or maybe 3 days to actually braid the whole thing. I'm like, this is the longest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned way, you definitely have to do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's
it
a tinkle
works if you do. Just like a little tip to everybody watching and to people here in the recording. As a cosmetologist, what I learned when I learned the old-fashioned, crimping method is definitely you do that. But if you want to go a little bit quicker, and you don't have a crimper, what you can do is you can braid normally. The bigger the braid, the more bigger the wave. The more smaller the braid, the more smaller the wave, and you'll probably get like that frizzy effect. But if you braid it and you like throw heat protectant and all that stuff on before you braid it, go ahead, do that, braid it, and take your hair straightener and just go down the hair and leave the hair between the two plates for 20 to 25 seconds, depending on how resistant the wig is. There are different types of wigs, so I would be very mindful of how long you leave that hair straightener on there. With more heat resistant wigs, it's a different story. You could do 20 to 25 seconds. But with different types of other wigs, if it's a human hair wig, that's different. You have to make sure that the hair is nice and porous and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as I've explained, there were heat protectant on there. Braid it up. Use your hair straightener. Don't slide down. Go little by little, so that way you get that. You get that heat in there, and just setting it. And then another thing, don't take it out right away. Let the braid cool down for a little bit, and then take it out, because that's how you're gonna have that volume stay on top of when you freeze it with your hairspray. As a cosplayer, I recommend Got2b hairspray. But if you don't have that, make sure you find a hairspray that has a very strong hold, or else your crimp that you've done, or your style, or your updo, or whatever you've done with your wig in the long run in general, it has a good hold and it stays. And it doesn't fall out over time. Like in like a fast amount of time.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Crunchy hard, even though it smells wonky, but it has that wonky smell, but it works.
Yeah, I've definitely inhaled that thing like 5 times, I think, and I've forgotten to hold my breath till it was like
no,
my face. Like, that was a mistake. I inhaled 5 times mistakenly.
I know, whenever I do it, I'm like,
be careful. With hairspray, be careful, because hairspray does have a lot of chemicals, and the more you are around it, like the more you spray it on updos and stuff, the more that you can develop, a risk for, getting sick or developing certain cancers and stuff. So I would be careful about, being around it and how much of it that you inhale. I'm like, wait, breathe.
I know you need like one of those masks.
Like a Bane from Batman.
I also wouldn't recommend doing it too close to the wig, because it gets like really wet. And then like it has that like wet part to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this as an example. Pretend this is a hairspray bottle, and this is the hair. Don't spray too close, or else you're gonna get like very thick and sticky. You want to spray away, and you want to have this motion with your hand whenever you spray. And if you want to pull it away, you can, but don't go closer.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's the same method as putting dry shampoo in your hair. If you know how to put dry shampoo in your hair, the more product you have on a wig.
I'm double armed.
Hear
me.
Double on talking. This is
That was
great.
funny.
I'll just go
Oh,
like
that was a
walking through
thumbnail.
convention spraying these.
Let me go.
Yeah. But I know with a lot of certain products and stuff, especially heat protectant, especially dry shampoo, if you put your heat protectant on your wig or on your hair in general and it's too close, or you put too much of it, you will risk, the look of, greasy hair or greasy wig fibers. So it's important that you keep a distance when you spray, because the mist is going to catch onto the hair or the fiber, and then the fiber is going to like do its thing with like the mist on there. So yes, my favorite heat protectant is, by L'Oreal. If you spray from far away, it's very light on the hair, especially on wigs and stuff. If you're working with wigs and stuff and you have a heat protectant that you don't like to use and you want to use that up, definitely use that on like a test wig. Stuff. Oh, here's the sun coming in. Ooh, I'm a goddess. I'm a god.
Exactly.
No.
Wait, I have like a sun blocking, but I have my shades blocking it. But wait, work.
My son's behind the cloud.
Notebook to like.
You're fine.
Nothing's.
All natural. No, you're good.
All natural.
Yes.
Paris.
I also want to say that we are not sponsored by any of these brands, but if you want to,
we
our
are not
email's
sponsored by any of these brands. But if you would like to reach out to me more on, the wig styling, and cosmetology route, I am definitely open. You can go and DM me. Of course, I will open upon request night, and I will teach you. I educate a lot on the world of hair, especially as a previous temporarily licensed cosmetologist on their way to becoming licensed. Anything I can help you with, hey, is there. And if there's something that you want to know that I don't know, I will go ahead and learn that too, and I will definitely help you, and we'll both help each other out. In the world of cosplay, it's not just about the costumes and the wigs. It's about learning about fun things like the science. Like
science.
It is.
Yeah, the process too.
Yeah,
like the process from the beginning, like to the end. Especially like from a beginner point of view to like later on, you can like look back at your first cosplay picture and then just go to like the current one.
Oh, wow.
And then you're like at that point you're like, oh my god, I was like that.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah. It's kind of like your before and after pictures.
It is.
Especially if you're working on a wig too. I would recommend that you take a before shot and an after shot, so that way when you post online, people can see, oh, they actually did that, and they understand your true potential.
I am loving the conversation. There's so much good stuff. So I do
like detangling wigs.
Yes. We're actually going to get into that's kind of sort of the next question. I just kind of wanted to wrap up the first one with just like my own experience, which is my own favorite wigs, which is definitely one of my Nora wigs. I have two different Nora wigs, one that I use for her volume 4 and the other that I use for volume 7. The volume 7 is so nice, brushes easy, very short, easy to keep clean and everything. And then the second one is my blue wig for like blue curly wig that I use for Nynx and May Marigold. That one makes me feel so good and so pretty in. So lots of good stuff. Okay, so we've kind of touched on some of the next question, but you can definitely elaborate or add additional feedback to as well, which is have you ever styled a wig, and what is your wig experience?
So I haven't styled many wigs. the ones I have for my penny wig, and I'm currently trying to style my venti wig 'cause it's a little too puffy, which I had it for, like, I had the venti wig with the hat, like the puffiness of the hat. But for my penny wig, like I said, I just did the I did like the small braids and then I put it in like the hot water. But I made sure like you need it to be like heat protected, but I know you can also get like heat protected wigs on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's how I got the penny one, but a lot of my wigs I get from Amazon.
Okay, I know I've started to notice a pattern of myself lately after that one question, comparing myself to the last time I was on Cosplay Tea Time. Where I just answered the question beforehand,
you're
not knowing what the question
fine.
was. But
You're
I
fine.
would be happy to explain again.
Yeah.
So I have styled a wig before. I've actually styled 6 wigs. This one being the 5th or the 6th one. Denki Kaminari is a recent style. Whenever I wear Denki Kaminari, I feel like my mother because she has the same length hair. And on top of that, I also style her hair from time to time.
Okay, cool.
But I understand the difference of working on wigs versus working on mannequins and also working on the human head, which I think is very awesome. As like a cosmetologist, just like I embrace all of that. I have styled about 5 wigs. I have the wigs up on my phone that I've styled. I also have like some process photos too, of these wigs and stuff. On Instagram, I did post low budget cosplays, photos in process and stuff, and I explain the story in the description below. But low budget cosplays, I did her Hatsumi Miku wig. That was the first one. The second one was my Jinx wig behind me. She was really fun. Bakugo from My Hero Academia. 3. And then I had an old wig that I was never gonna use, and a cosplayer was having trouble with, styling a wig and stuff. So I reached out to her and I showed her a bunch of things and I demoed a bunch of things, and um she was very appreciative about that. I think her name is Halo Cosplays. Um but I reached out to her and I showed her a couple of things, and um she wants to learn more about wig styling, which in the future I'm so excited to share with her. As we last talked, I think that was like several months ago, but you know, my doors are still open. It's still open. Anyway, so Millie's Miku wig, my Jinx wig Bakugo, um, the demo, and then there was a friend's wig for a production we had at my college called Tartuffe. It's actually a really funny play. Um, and the wig I styled for the actress playing the character Marianne, and we had Marianne be a ginger, so I took that wig from, you know, light waves, you know, light outward going waves to tight inward going curls, because that's what the style was back then, of the time period that was set in the play. And that was a lace front that I styled, and I gave it a pretty Korean styled updo, and the updo was like changed throughout the time, like through each show. But very beautiful work I did. I spent about 4 hours straight on that wig, just doing curling process alone. I remember it was like 12 a.m. through 4 a.m. in the morning. I had a cosplay I was crunching as well. I rarely do this, but I had like a sip of an energy drink just to keep going and stuff. And now I was curling, very tight curls, small curls, and that was like a very fun process. Hopefully, if I haven't by the time this recording has come out, I would really love to release these photos too. So after that, then I styled my Denki Kaminari wig. Oh, the sun's coming in a little bit more. Let's just adjust this real quick.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is helping. Okay, I think that helps if I just get my hand like that.
Okay.
Hey!
How's it going? It's like you're FaceTiming.
I look like I'm flirting with everybody. I'm telling you, I'm not. It's just the sun in my hands, like cupped up.
Oh god.
But yeah, and then there was this wig, and then in between that time too, which recently was this year of the time of the show, I began doing, hair tinsel extensions and stuff. I had a big order from a friend that I did, and made a lot of money from that. But you can put these extensions in your hair and your wigs if you want them to be temporary. I can also put, I can also put, hair tinsel, like embed them into the wig as well. So that's something that I offer during my wig styling service. I had to take off, crimping services because I had an oopsie with the crimper during the transit time in the box. We're trying to ship it up here, so I might have to, if someone really wants to crimp, it will have to be the old-fashioned way, but oopsies happen, and you have to get new materials and products and stuff. Like,
yeah.
The crimper I'm looking at is not as expensive as the one that was given to me by my friend, which I'm so sorry that happened. That was not intentional. I must have put that in the box wrong. But, I have styled wigs before, and that's just of the stuff that I've done. I enjoy styling wigs. It's a wonderful process to me, especially as a hairstylist. Like styling wigs is a different story than styling on a human head or on a mannequin. Mannequin is more of training on a human head, but like they're more stable, and then sometimes humans are not always stable, so you just gotta work with that, and you also gotta like say, hey, can you please keep your head straight?
Like with the mannequin head, you could just slap them.
It's a little rude.
Yeah. With a wig though, you're dealing with wig wefts in the head, so you have like different pieces of the wefts pulling.
Like you gotta like pin it down.
You gotta pin it down, or if you have a mannequin, you can put corners on the mannequins, and then you can take bobby pins with your wigs, and you can like just stabilize them in those corners on the mannequin. In the future, hopefully, I'd love to do a tutorial for you guys, or like for my own audience too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I just provide a long list, I realize. Now it's Jen's turn as I fight to keep my hand above the camera.
Try. We got this. Alrighty, so ever styled a wig? Yes, she's right behind me. Oops, I almost knocked her down. Mitsuri, which I actually put her on, and I did a live stream where I just like combed her bangs and everything, because her bangs were super long, like they were past my nose, and I couldn't get them to like separate. I did as like windshield wipers. I remember scene from Wally. So cute. Anyway, so I went ahead and cut Mitsuri's bangs. No experience, baby cosplayer still. And I went ahead and cut her bangs. And I think I did a pretty good job on one side. It still looks a little funny on the other side. And then, she has the braids. So there's like these elastic bands. But they look old and grungy and stuff. And I was like, that won't do. Like, she's such a girly girl. So I had some extra fabric, some pink fabric, and I made these little like hair tie scrunchy things, and I put them at the end of her thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's 100 times better. So I just made those, and I'm like, she'd wear them, she'd rock them. So her, and of course Coney, who I'm wearing. It looks a little bit worn and tattered because I have not been giving her the TLC that she deserves, but I did buy her, like, I think sometime last year because it was right before the Christmas one. But the Christmas one I wasn't worried about because I knew I was going to wear like a Santa Claus hat. So I was like, all right, like try to figure it out and stuff. So, but I tried to comb it. I tried to like push things aside and all this. So it's not the best job ever, but it'll do. I'm sure probably in the near future I'll definitely do a few things. So I'm not very experienced with wigs. I'm more or less, actually more, of the person that just takes the wig out of the bag and immediately just like puts it on, maybe brushes it a couple times. I use like this one like setting spray and whatnot to kind of like smooth it all down. But I did go during 4-State Comic Con. I attended a panel on like wig care and stuff by Lainey Katz, I believe who it was, and I learned quite a bit in that hour, like what kind of products I would need and all this stuff. So, and that's exactly what this next question is going to lead to, is what are some wig safe products that people have or that you have?
I'm armed and ready.
It's a new ruby weapon.
Yes!
For Rapunzel or something.
You guys are like sporting it over there, and I'm trying to get the sunlight like at the thing.
Get out of here, son.
So I preach this so much because that's how I got the ruby. Like that, like you know how Ruby has like that
cowlick,
like kind of cowlick. That's how I got hers to go. So that was a project. And then Penny's also cowlick I used, but now it's kind of separating into two. So now I'm like, I gotta do it again. But these are good. And then I don't know where they are, but I have like those little pins that you put in the mannequin.
Yeah.
And then of course the mannequin itself.
Mannequin.
I'm gonna name it Dave.
Oh, you named yours?
It's Dave for now.
Dave.
Yeah, I have two. And
Say hi, Dave.
Mine doesn't have a name. We need a name.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, gee,
Dave
he's such
says
a
hi.
handsome hunk. Of course, I'm joking.
Oh,
but he is pretty handsome. He looks very manly, as Kirishima would say.
Yeah.
Slay.
I love it. Oh. Alrighty, Bella, you're up.
So, I use a lot of salon products with my wigs and stuff because even though, so I feel like as an extra precaution, even though I prefer and work with, heat resistant wigs most of the time, I still would like that heat protectant on the wig before I start styling. But I know for like the beginning of the process, I use like a household item. I use liquid fabric softener and water, and I let the wig soak for like 6 to 8 hours if I need to longer, just to help the fibers be a little bit more soft and porous. I will. But 6 hours at least is where I draw the line. We're okay with wig softening just to help with detangling, and then I go into the detangling process in all my wigs, including the short wigs, because you just want like nice comb through.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One nice comb through. That's also just my preference as well when it comes to wigs and stuff. Certain short wigs, I probably don't need to do that, but I still do that anyway. I know if I'm going to style a wig after I do that stuff, I use not sponsored. I use the L'Oreal heat protectant. It's really a straightening spray, and it's a 30-day formula. But I still use it as a heat protectant because I not just use it on my wigs, but I also use it on myself when I'm not cosplaying, including in the winter because of the UV rays in the sun. It acts as a sunscreen as well. If you don't straighten or style your hair that much, you still want some heat protectant in your hair. If you're gonna be in the sun a lot for that day or something like that. But that's what I use on both my wigs and myself and my clients. I love that heat protectant, and I love that brand when it comes to that heat protectant so much because I don't feel any residue whenever I'm done working with it. Whenever I put down that bottle, I don't feel any residue, unless if I spray too much. I don't feel that residue. It feels very light. There's no weight to it. And that's just what I use for heat protectant whenever it comes to styling and spiking. Hairsprays, as Moody has shown, is got to be hairspray. I think they have two different kinds. I saw the other kind on Amazon. I forget what that one's for. But got to be. They have a lot of styling products as well that you can definitely look into whether they're for your wigs or not. Depending on what wig you get, make sure that you're getting styling products that are fit for that wig. The one that I'm wearing is a heat resistant wig, meaning I can put a certain amount of temperature on it when it comes to heat without a heat protectant. But I still use a heat protectant just as an extra precaution. Even though that doesn't if you straighten it out, it's gonna be fully straight. You're still gonna have a little bit of some indentation in there, but it protects very well when it comes to heat. Meaning that if you want to, you can use a higher heat setting. But I would, if you're gonna use a heat protectant too, I would look on the instructions and I would look at the directions and everything on the back of the bottle to make sure. Okay, so I shouldn't be using on this, but I can use it on this if this counts and that counts. And definitely do your research as well, because as I've explained earlier in the podcast recording, when it comes to wigs, hairstyling, and all that fun jazz, there's a science to it that we, as person styling the wig, need to take into consideration. It's just like if you're doing a perm on someone's actual hair and head, you need to know, what hair type they are, if they have resistant hair, if they have non-resistant hair, how resistant is that hair, how non-resistant is that hair. It's the same thing doing a perm and understanding what strength solution that you need to use and what brand you need to use as well when performing a perm. So if you need to perform perm on a wig, I would personally look into that as well, that I mentioned that to myself, and if you're wanting that too, definitely do your research. But before you style a wig or you style hair, I would definitely do some research, because some people, they don't use wigs whenever they cosplay, they use their natural hair. And to understand hairstyling in general along with wigs, that is a very important factor to learn. In every state in the US, the law is that if you are not a licensed hairdresser, you cannot charge for hair services. With wigs, it's a different story. You can charge as long as it's not on the human head. If it's on the human head, you can't charge.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, I know a lot about that state board stuff as well. So if you're a cosmetologist and you're getting ready for state board and you want to reach out to me about that, definitely go ahead and I will help you as much as I can.
There you go.
I just shifted the question.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I did not know that. So interesting. Learn something new every day. Love it. Righty. Let's see. So the products that I have, I'm gonna start the big items. So obviously, like a wig stand thing, you can put your mannequin head on. Of course, these styrofoam ones, they're pretty cheap. Like this was like $3 and stuff. They have like a I was gonna say cardboard. It's not cardboard, but they have like a stiffer looking one that kind of you can use, but they're a bit more pricey, like 15, $20. And I'm like, I'm gonna stick with my little cheap unnamed mannequin heads. So moving down the line, the only hairspray I have is, I don't know what this is, Tresemme. I don't have the Got to Be Glued. That's on the Amazon wish list. I have mousse. Sometimes I use this in my actual hair. I use a little bit here and there. And then I have, this popped up as like recommended. It's Wig Leave-In Conditioning Spray, but it kind of helps like soften some of the hair. I use that a lot for Nora's. And of course, brushes. My other comb, it goes missing so often, but I have the comb with like the little pick at the end because that always helps separate the wigs and stuff. I got like a curling brush, and of course these bad boys.
I have a question about the comb because I have like different types of combs. I'd like to help you out with that one.
Okay.
Is the pick metal or is it plastic?
Plastic.
Okay, so that is called okay, I'm going Kaminari again.
Okay.
That is called tail comb. One with the metal end is called a rat tail comb.
Okay.
And the rat tail comb, the one with that's metal, you use mostly for lightening services on the head or on wigs. Because you know the lightener when mixed, so lightener comes in a powder and you mix it with developer, and the developer activates the lightener. Careful with lightening. With hair color, it's a different story. But you know, the lightener, there's like a thing to that. You know what? I'm interrupting your time. Let me just walk over here and grab my mannequin because she's out of sight now.
Oh,
you're fine, Jen.
You're fine. Next, I was like, you're kind of already answering the next question. I was like, but I don't want to interrupt, so it's one of those recordings.
It's strange because like I had a feeling too that I was doing, and I'm like, I better be quiet.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. I didn't have much left to say other than those are the items that I have at the moment. Of course, I have no idea where my comb is, which always seems to disappear. But I was going to say wig caps. Usually when you get a wig, you'll get wig caps such as these. You'll get like the
or like
pantyhose.
There's these kinds too.
Yeah, I like those a lot better than these because they don't get like stuck in the holes. Like sometimes like the little black pieces get stuck and it's
like the back things still get stuck sometimes.
Yeah, so much fun. Not. And then after watching Lanny Cat's presentation and whatnot, like I'm sitting there like taking notes off of her presentation slides, and I made like a little list in notes, and then came home and made an Amazon like wish list type of thing. So it's funny you brought up earlier, I think it was Bella brought up like separating cosplay from wigs. Like I have one side, like one list that's all cosplays, and then one side that's all like wig products. So it can be done. So
yeah, and I definitely recommend if you're starting wig styling or you're starting, your cosplay journey, which is so exciting! Yay! If you're gonna make an Amazon wish list for people to like help you out with, you make an Amazon wish list for just straight up products and materials. Then you have your Amazon wish list full of your costumes or your wigs or your projects. And I would definitely separate what those projects are and stuff. If you want to put them together in one Amazon wish list, feel free. Or if you want to do like multiple Amazon wish lists for like those different characters, you can. But definitely have an Amazon wish list that has just products and materials so people know, okay, so this is what this person uses all the time.
Yeah. Makes sense. I feel like that would be...
Yeah, okay, next
Yeah,
question.
that-
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Alrighty, so next question is, how do you brush a wig?
So I will normally, it depends on how, like, gnarly it is.
Good word.
So, like, if it's my penny wig, since I've crimped it, it's usually more on the, like, gnarly side. So I'll start, like, at the bottom and then go up as I go.
Yep.
But for, like, if it's short hair, I'll sometimes, like, start, like, at the top because it's not that bad.
Moody, can you explain to us what you mean by gnarly? Because not all of us know the definition of that.
So, like, if it's, like, really, like, tangled.
Okay, so...
Like, based on tangledness.
Matted?
Yeah.
How matted it is, how much...
Yeah.
How many knots are in there?
Yeah.
Everybody knows what gnarly is.
It's fine.
A lot in the cosmetology world.
Yeah.
Aw.
My penny wig is like halfly Knot City. Like half Knot City.
It's like it's been caught in a tornado or something. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do remember that wearing my penny wig and it was so windy out. It just kept on going back. I'm like,
oh no.
Having to keep it on. I'm like, stay.
Listen to me.
Stay.
Get out of my head. Oh gosh.
Sorry, what was the question again?
It's okay. How do you brush a wig?
Oh, okay. So I brush a wig the same way that I brush a set of long hair, or I brush someone's hair, like either mannequin or human. And this is actually a more gentle way of brushing someone's hair, on top of wigs and stuff. So start at the bottom of the wig, like at the bottom, at the ends, and work your way up. You are gently getting knots out that way. Versus if you start at the top and you go down, you will run encounter in not just hearing the ouch. You know, you're human or psychological
or mannequin,
or in your wig. With the wig, you risk a lot of stuff when you just go. And there's like knots, but it's start from the bottom and work from the top. That's the way that you get out. You get out knots gently in the hair. And if you get like those little knots, like on those little strands and stuff, don't go through it with a brush. Take your fingers and just try and get them apart that way, and then brush through it and make sure it looks good and it's fine, and the brush can go through.
Oh yeah.
When you get to the top of that knot and that knot's finally out, I would still like go a little bit up and brush down to where the knot was, or like until you experience knots. That way you can do the whole process again. So.
Yeah, I know too. Like if like there's knots, what helped me is like kind of like pulling it a little bit, like getting like some of like the hair out and like individually like pulling on it, because it might just be like really like fluffy. I want to say fluffy, but it's not the word. It's like light or like curly maybe. It's just too curly and it knots.
Yeah. With the wigs, because you're dealing with a different story, you need to be more gentle with wigs. Yeah. More curly wigs. I know I have a curly wig and I just straightened it out because I got tired of like the curls and everything, just knotting with them. Curly wigs, they will knot up faster. And you really have to. Curly wigs are more of a process to take care of when you're dealing with wigs too, not just hard ones. you always have to understand and know how to, take care of that wig. You know, it's not like human hair where you style it every day and you take it down or you have in a specific style and it's just on your head. This is a wig where you take it on and off your head. And then you have to decide, well, where do I need to put this wig? The shorter wigs, and certain longer wigs and stuff, it's safe and it's okay to put like on a command hook on a wall or something like that. With a lot of short wigs, especially the ones that have a uniform haircut. If you don't know what a uniform haircut is, basically, it's the same length all around the head if you like take up sections and like it's all the same length, but it creates this nice layered haircut. That's what a uniform haircut is. Just to squirrel off into something else for a straight minute.
Okay.
With wigs, you have to be very careful on, how you take care of them and, how you store them and stuff like how you style them, what type of wig they are, how do you do treatments on them, basically, because, some wigs you can save by doing, certain treatments on, using certain products that you might need. And, don't be afraid to invest in certain wig styling products or professional products in general when you're doing wigs and also when you're hairstyling on the floor or, in your house, practicing on somebody, doing stuff on your mannequin, and all that fun jazz. So, yeah, and working with heat and blow drying with wigs too is a different story. I don't blow dry wigs a lot. I really don't. But when those wigs I do have to blow dry, I have to be like super careful with. Because, wigs are different from human head. You're dealing with weft. It's not each strand embedded into the hair.
Yes. So, yes, and that was something, when you said that during the panel, Lainey Cat said something along the lines like, if you find a product, you search for a product, and even if it's like a little bit pricey, if it's worth the investment at the end to make your wig stand out, to make it do what you want it to do and whatnot, get the product. Like, if it's going to be worth it at the end, just bite the bullet and go for it and get it. So, because you might need it for a different wig in the future, so you never know.
Yeah, with researching products too, if you're looking for a new product to work with, I would go full into it, look at all the reviews and stuff, look at the website where the product has come from, just invest some time in the learning about the product and, the do's and don'ts with it, what to do if, the product doesn't work with certain things, what to do if the product, unknowingly damages, the fibers of your wig, like, because, in the world of hair and in the world of making wigs and stuff, things, even though it goes right, sometimes it can go wrong. So to understand how to get yourself out of those situations, and keep, if you're working with a client, if you're working, just on your own, keeping the peace with like your clients, keeping the peace with like wigs and styling and stuff, understanding how to get yourself out of certain situations due to like certain products and stuff. I would definitely invest some time into that. The world of hair, as I've explained twice, this is gonna be the third time. You're dealing with science. You're dealing with, a lot of things. And it's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful world. So go ham, learn everything you can, and have fun. But
experiment is what I'm hearing.
Don't go wild where it's going to you look like you're reckless.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah, it would be.
go wild, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
don't
carefully wild.
careful and go
Carefully
wild.
wild.
Yes,
Be
carefully wild.
careful and go wild with the learning process,
Yeah.
because the world of hair, the world of cosplay, the world of wigs and all that stuff.
Especially wigs
It's your
with wigs
journey.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like especially with wigs too, be careful because wigs do not grow back.
Exactly.
Like
Yes.
you can buy them, but
They
they don't grow back.
No.
So like
Yeah,
if you
with
cut
hair,
the
it's
bangs too short,
different.
it ain't going back.
It's not. I would be very, very careful. And one thing I've learned about working with the wigs is that if you know how short you want, like let's say I wanted to give Denki like some sweet curtain bangs, this Denki, Smack and Denki wig, some sweet curtain bangs. And I know that I want them to end like right here. Cut them a little longer, and then if you want to do any texturizing or if you want to do any like certain type of like styling with them, definitely go at that length and go like where you want to go. But if you want to go a little bit shorter, definitely go like a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd always
But
start.
don't go too short.
Yeah, I'd always start with like an inch
Mhm.
longer than you want it, and then do like tiny bits.
Yes, when it comes to hairstyling, if you wet the hair will expand. Like hair will expand.
It goes longer.
It'll look a bit longer. It'll go a little bit longer whenever you're doing the hair cutting process. So if your client says that they want an inch off, either on a human hair wig or on themselves, if they want like a specific style, because they always cosplay characters with that style, or just in general, if they say they want an inch off, take half an inch off. And if they say that they want it a little bit shorter when you dry it or whenever it's still wet, you can take a little bit off. But I would say take about half an inch off, so that whenever the hair shrinks and it's on the head, an inch has been taken off.
Okay.
So
Hair is like a sponge.
Yes.
Hair is SpongeBob.
Oh gosh.
SpongeBob hair. Ooh.
Oh no.
A little inspiration from the
Maybe later
hair
on
color
can talk about
geeks out there. I love hair color. I can do hair color.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Which question were we on? Okay, this one. How to brush a wig. Yes, so just to reiterate, start from the bottom. That's a long wig. Start from the bottom. You can work your way up. Make sure you do it slowly, slow increments. Section off the hair if you need to. I showed those little section thingies earlier. Don't force it. I have learned my lesson, both on myself and my mannequin. If you try to force a tangle out, bad things happen after, so learn from me, don't force it.
Same, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, so it's a fun learning little experiment. It's like, oh, okay, like, even though you're not attached to somebody, it's like, you still gotta be careful. So don't force it out, just kind of, work your way with it and stuff. So, and the other thing too is we mentioned a little bit about like test wigs, like just getting like some cheap wigs and then, testing out like certain products or certain techniques and styles before you do it on like, I think my most expensive wig is like $35. So, yeah, there's quite a bit. So,
and there are definitely wigs that are more expensive too. So look out for that.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, next up, our next question is, what is wig soup?
Oh, wait, I think I have an idea of what wig soup is. Is it when you put the wig in a pot of water? Is that it? Yeah. Put some salt and pepper. Get rid of the pot. Oh, nice.
Bella, have you ever made wig soup? Know about wig soup? What is wig soup?
It's a mess soup.
Do not drink it.
Wig soup is definitely a different process with like any length wig that you get, or you know, you cut through and then you're like, oh, I need to I need to do the softening journey. I need to do this. I need to do that. Me getting over dramatic as usual. But you know, wig soup is when you put a wig like in any body of water, no matter if you're boiling it, if you're doing a softening process, doing dyeing process, like you're putting it in a liquid and in like in a pot or in like a container. That's what wig soup is. I've only done that with the detangling process. I have never dyed wigs before, and I've never dyed them yet, but I'd like to learn how to dye them. Little Minari zigzags falling down a bit. There we go. You know, I've only done that with like a softening process. And as I've explained earlier, when you're doing a softening process, it's 6 to 8 hours. If the wig is still a little up, you can do another soak, but make sure that the wig becomes dry, and then next day do another soak, because you want to give the wig time to not become, you know, over porous in the same bath.
Makes sense. Yeah. I asked that because I feel like whenever I first started cosplaying, like I was seeing a lot of TikToks about wig soup and all this stuff, and I'm just like, wig soup, like what is that? So I have not made like wig soup or any type of thing, but what I've seen is like folks take like warmish water, or like just like a bin or a bucket of water. They'll add like fabric softener is what I see. They'll add like a little bit of fabric softener into that. They'll let it sit for a few hours or overnight, depending on like the wig length and texture and just how like much they need it to soften out. They'll let it dry, and then of course then they'll brush it and style it to whatever the character might need. So, and just so everybody knows, we're not putting wig soup in the cookbook. Do not eat the wig soup.
Yes, do not eat wig soup, even though
if you eat wig soup on purpose, I will find you, and I will do this.
During talking
to.
No.
I will sit you down, and I will tie you to that chair, and I'll be like,
we're not responsible.
I will be dressed as a grandma, and I will be.
We'll get our walkers out. How dare you?
I will put a salad in the fridge.
Goodness.
Professor Krabs will come and get you.
Yes. Oh, goodness gravy. Anywho, next question, which should be a fun one, is how do you store/pack your wigs?
So, like with my short wigs, since I don't really have the space for like a bunch of mannequin heads, I'll put them like in like little like kind of like cubbies kind of. So like I'll put it like on a flat surface, both my longer wigs, or like the wigs that I've styled. I'll put them up there, which you probably could have seen before.
Yeah, we saw
you can see shadows. Yes. The wall of wigs. I'll put it on my wall of wigs. Or I'll just keep it on that man. I'll keep it on Dave.
Dave. Not sure if you've seen Penguins of Madagascar.
Dave will give me nightmares tonight. Dave's like the nightmare.
Descending into the darkness.
Yes, into the darkness. Dave is what you see at night.
You see.
Dave is what Mousy sees at night.
Oh gosh.
Like they're gonna come to life, and then they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. I'm scaring them.
I still need to name mine.
Dave.
Yeah, I have 2 mannequins. One's named Flub, and the other one is named I think Gigi. I forget, but Flub was cool.
I used to have another one, but then I let my cousin draw on it, and it's just
Oh.
horrendous
Oh.
and terrifying.
But so
Mhm.
back on the question, the way that I package my wigs and stuff,
Mhm.
it's a different story per wig because you're dealing with different wig textures and you're dealing with different densities and different styles and how curly they are, how you're just dealing with different things.
Mhm.
The longer wigs and stuff, it's a different story for each one with me. With my Jinx wig, because she's in braids a lot, even though she gets like a bunch of flyaways,
Yep.
I might have to restyle her soon.
Mhm.
But because she gets a lot of flyaways and she's so long, I can just put her in, you know, a bag, turn her inside out, put her in a bag, and place the braids very nicely to the point where they won't tangle up. Like put her in her bag and then stick her in either her, um, you know, traveling bag because you don't want your cosplays to mix up whenever you're traveling, or I stick her in her the little box if I store her in my closet or something.
Okay.
That's what I do with my Jinx cosplay. I keep my Jinx wig and my Jinx cosplay together because they are a set. I can't use my Jinx wig with anything else because there's no character to use that wig with anything else. There just isn't. And she's a very specific character. Like
Yep.
people like that is Jinx just by the hair.
Yep.
That's what they're like. You cannot convince me that is not Jinx. That's
Mhm.
Jinx. With my Azawa wig and less styled wigs, I can stick them in their bags. If I want to display them, I definitely have the option to put up, command hooks and have like a wig wall. A lot of people have wig walls. For certain styled wigs as well. If they're lightly styled or if they're, intermediately styled, you can put them on the hooks and stuff. But with, high very intense styled wigs and stuff, it's recommended that you put them on the mannequin unless they can handle the hook. You put them on the mannequins, that way they stay nice and styled. With my Bakugo wig, I can store him inside out. With Denki, I can store them inside out and put them in their bag. Or if I want to, I can put them on the mannequin, or I can put them on like a command hook if I want to, which I don't do. Denki, he is lightly styled. Bakugo is intermediately styled, and I calculate that by how flexible the crown area is, or how flexible cap of the wig is. There's an anatomy of the head. There are certain parts of the head that you name. This is the crown. The sides of the parietal. Here's the occipital bone, and down here is the nape area.
Okay.
I will probably, if I'm doing like wig styling tutorials, or if I'm doing like styling stuff in general, I will mention those parts of the head because that is the cap parts as well. Like that's the area of the wig caps that you're dealing with.
Yep.
Never good not.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, well, I am wig wallless, I guess you could say. I have those little pink wig stands. And pretty much every single wig is like on there. I probably have like 15, 20. It's so weird having so many wigs now that I think about it. Being like, I'm not gonna wear wigs, I'll use my natural hair to, I'm styling wigs now. So, and then of course I have nameless wig mannequin head. I will eventually come up with a name for her, but Yeah, I usually put Comey's wig on here since there's so much of it and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm also thinking about getting, during the panel, they mentioned like silk bags. Like there's like certain types of bags you can store wigs in. I think that would be good to have. The only thing is though, I don't know like how well they would store, and then having to get probably like a different storage unit just for the bags, and then trying to figure out like pulling one out and being like, all right, is this Pira or is this an OC wig or something like that? So I don't know. I'm still kind of
You can definitely
debating.
label those bags as well.
Probably.
The silk bags, I can tell you for a fact,
Mhm.
use them on certain wigs.
Yeah.
Your heat-resistant wigs, you don't have to, because they're heat-resistant and they're not real human hair. You don't have to worry about it. If you want to worry about the wigs, you can obviously worry about your wigs, but you don't have to worry about heat-resistant wigs as much for that setting, or of human hair wigs and wigs that have different types of fibers that would need those types of bags. But you know, if you guys are able to get test wigs, you know, with different types of fibers and stuff, and test all sorts of fun stuff on those test wigs, go ahead and do it, because you know you're gonna understand your outcomes later when it comes to storing, when it comes to styling, all that jazz.
So
Just like doing a test strand.
Yeah.
And a patch test in the cosmetology world, because you want to know what's going on beforehand.
Very true. It's good to do a test run. Oh goodness.
Oh, I'm just like sweating.
You're fine. Because we actually just have one more question for the morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone it is, which is, what are some... It is night for you. The screen's gone completely dark and Dave's just sitting in the corner.
I'm just gonna put
It's kind of
Dave
crazy.
down because Dave's like,
Dave.
good night, Dave.
We will do the scary podcast
Yeah,
recording
you need
later
real
this
life.
year.
Dave's going to bed.
Yes, Bella, shine your light
Hi,
on Moody.
Dave.
Yes, I
Hi,
know
Dave.
that.
Love
Alright.
you, Dave.
The light switches all the way at the end, so I'm like...
Alrighty, last question, which is, what are some last minute tips and tricks for viewers out there?
It's...
That was close.
It's screaming hold for hair.
Sponsor us! Yay!
Sponsor
us! I get so intense. I mean, sponsor us!
Oh, goodness me.
Yes. This. My answer is this.
The answer to your wig prayers.
Yes.
I just became a whole big monster right there.
And a fan. You need a fan.
And a fan.
Especially for long wigs.
Yes.
I get sweaty.
Oh, I need that fan. It's cold outside. I just relocated to a colder setting. It's gonna be cold.
Wait, I'll fan you.
I'll fan you up. I'm a fan of your fan.
Pokemon.
Everybody has voice but me. Why? Oh, no, wait. I kind of sort of have voice. She's right here.
I have a voice.
Just
She's
voice.
on your cup. Of course you have a voice.
Of course.
I just need to bring that out every single time.
Alrighty, Bella, last minute tips and tricks for folks.
So I'm gonna get my Jinx wig for this. She's on the floor on the mannequin.
Okay.
Because with the sun and everything, you really couldn't see her in the back anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something that is something I personally did with my Jinx wig. She's so long. Whenever I wear her, there is weight. I'm afraid she's gonna fall off. Here, my baby.
Mama.
Excuse me, please get my lap. Thank you. But with my Jinx wig, I have wig extension clips on the cap. With a lot of my longer wigs, I prefer to have one at the hairline area, and I prefer to have one at each side of the parietal.
Nice. We
As you
have.
can see, I got the corner thing going on with my mannequin under this wig.
Okay.
Helps a lot when you're wig styling on mannequins.
Yeah.
Instead of like the foam ones, like you have a real mannequin. You squirrel off into that. Some mannequins, they have different types of hair too. And different hair types, and you can like corner them down. You can rub stuff.
Yeah.
The foam ones, you can't really do that, but with the real ones, you can. Like here's the other one, this side. You can get them in any color. Actually, I have some in black. I like to get. I like to use them whenever I'm doing wig styling for people. I like to use them whenever I do hair tinsel extensions and bends and all that fun jazz. And you guys see the tinsel?
Yes, I see it. So sparkly.
I have a lot of the sky blue tinsel. Like I bought a bulk load of it, like 4 packs, and I still have some. So this I will probably be in stock with a while. This color, certain colors, not so much because I am unable to bulk stock. So it's a little bit. I definitely have a favorite brand, even though I can't bulk stock from them.
Yeah.
Pick up some tinsel. But back on what I was saying. Big clips. When you're dealing with wigs that have a lot of weight and stuff, you put in those wig clips. I would definitely be careful with how often you wear those wigs if you're going to be wearing them all day. Excuse me, I almost put out some throat gas from my mouth, which was not pretty. But Jinx, because she is down to my feet and those braids are a lot of weight, I can only wear her once a month without the front of my hairline pulling. My donkey wig, I don't have any clips. But in my longer wigs, I do have clips that, are on the sides or on the top and the sides. Sometimes you can even sew in, these little comb attachments that will grab onto like the back of your hair and have it be more secure. Those pieces are more recommended to put at the nape of the cap, like at the way bottom. Not so much the top, or else you'll experience more slipping. That's my experience too. But those 2 things I would recommend putting in your wigs are getting to be put in your wigs by a commissionist. I would recommend that completely. You have to sew them in, obviously. When you're sewing them in, be careful of how you sew them in too, because you don't want to sew through the cap, through the hair, and back in, and then you have this stitch right there. It's just showing none of your wig. You need to be very careful about it. If you guys do not understand what I am talking about and you want me to, show you a little demo on that, I would be happy to show you through a video call. I would be happy to show you video. I would be happy to show you in general. If you go out to my Instagram, BelladonnaRoseCosplays, in my Instagram, definitely you get more behind the scenes on, and you get to message me and learn some stuff. I'm educational based. If you reach out to me in an inappropriate way, you will not be answered and you will be blocked. Because I do not run the DMs myself. I have somebody else on those DMs as well, and we're both business partners.
Okay.
So educating is also serious business to us, along with commissions and all that fun stuff. So yes, there's a lot of money in the wig industry.
We have a new friend. Hello. As you all can tell, we have a guest joining us during the recording. So if you could just introduce yourself, name, pronouns, social media handles, and who you're cosplaying as.
My name is Jason. My pronouns are he, him. Social medias are TikTok, Instagram, and I am Natsu from Fairy Tale.
I just started rewatching Fairy Tale. I'm on episode 123, so.
Fairy Tale was like one of my first animes I watched.
Oh, it's so cool. I love Fairy Tale. So, yes, we're kind of wrapping up a little bit, but maybe, if you don't mind, Jason, what are some tips and tricks that you use with like wig styling, wig making, washing wigs, taking care of wigs? The floor is yours.
I use certain like hairspray to make it stick because I'm still learning to do it, so it's not my first rodeo, but
Yeah.
it's something. So um, I just constantly would spray until I think it's the right pitch I want it to be at. Well, pitch is not the right word. The right style I want it to be. And if it's not good, start over again until I feel like it's the right one.
Try again. That's what they say. So awesome sauce. And then do you have like wig products that you use? Of course, we're not sponsored by any of these brands. Is there like anything stands out that you're like,
Sponsor us. Sponsor us.
Oh, you use
The go-to.
Sponsor us!
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
That is the one I use. Yes,
Oh.
that is what I use.
Dying over here without the sponsorships. Oh,
I know.
The
One of
last
these days.
wig I stylized was for. It was for Naruto.
Mm.
I want to cosplay Naruto so bad.
Mm.
But it's not just regular. It's his. It's not regular Naruto. It's his 6-pass Sage mode.
Nice. That'd be interesting to see.
Naruto.
Yes, lots and lots of cool tips and tricks. So I'm going to go and wrap up this last question with my own little tip and trick. May seem a little bit silly, but I promise you, please learn from my mistakes, which is if you're gonna have wig, put on your wig first, and then your lipstick or your lip gloss. Do your lipstick and lip gloss last. I have learned my lesson. I was just a baby cosplayer doing my very first OC cosplay, had a long, pretty blonde wig, got it all ready and stuff. I went ahead and put on my red lipstick, my bright red lipstick on, had all my makeup done, went to put on the wig, had to like adjust it a bit, and when like one of the pieces fell, I could see like this red lipstick like all along the front of the strand. I was like,
no.
you're kidding me.
No.
So I had to take time to like kind of like wash it out, pray that nobody saw. I was mostly doing black and white filters and stuff because she was like, bad boss.
Ooh.
So yeah, one of my first OCs, so proud of her. But yeah, so learn from my mistake, put your wig on, and then do your lipstick or lip gloss. So
Learn it.
learn it. You heard it here
Now you're all
first.
threatening now.
Alrighty, and with that, I am all out of questions regarding wigs and wig styling. But we're just going to take a moment. We're going to go Moody, Jason, Bella, back to me. Any questions about Cosplay Tea Time or any questions for folks in the tea room or for viewers out there? Moody, you're up.
If you know another name to call Dave, please tell me.
No, Dave is perfect.
No, Dave.
Dave is
Okay.
one of a kind.
Love Dave
We love
from the
Dave.
bottom of our hearts.
We stand Dave.
He's so handsome.
In this
Dave,
house, we stand
Dave squad. Exactly.
If you guys want to make banner of Dave, feel free.
Yes. Oh. All right, Jason, any questions?
I have none.
No? Bella?
I don't have any questions, except for if you are on your cosplay journey, how is it going? And what are your goals? And what are the things that you want to learn? Because the world of cosplay and wigs and hair and all that stuff, it fascinates us all. It does. There's a lot of stuff to it. As I've explained throughout this recording, which I'm sure Jen was like, yay, she's finally our cosmetologist in the chat is finally a part of this.
Let's go.
And I was like, I'm so excited. I was talking to my mom and I'm just like, I'm required to be here for this recording. I am. I can't miss this one. This is the one that I would ask Jen to reschedule if we had
Oh
to.
yeah. And I would have bent over backwards, moved mountains just to do this recording with like Bella, of course, and everybody else here too. So it's always interesting to hear how people are doing.
I don't like to. I feel like it's a little bit selfish of me, and it violates your schedule. So if turns out I can't join a recording that I want to go to, and I'm just not going to join it. That's simple enough, because I feel like that disrespects the amount of time that you put into understanding where to schedule a certain recording. It really does. So I just kind of like I can go. If I can't, I can't.
Yeah, it happens. Happens. No, I appreciate everybody coming here, attending, sharing stories, tips and tricks, especially for new cosplayers out there that are like, the wig territory is scary and unknown. Take that leap of faith, get yourself a test wig, take it slow, take it gentle, and all that fun jazz. So I hope this recording stood out to you. Let us know in the comments, what did you learn about? What are some wigs that you want to style? And whatnot. Give Dave some appreciation. We love Dave. This is now Somewhat 2.0. We went ahead and named her. So welcome, Somewhat 2.0. It's a Ruby reference. Go catch up on Volume 9.
I have Powder here.
Yes, and Powder.
I named my mannequin Powder.
Nice. Oh, cute.
Powder keg.
Love it. Alrighty, and with that, we're going to go ahead and take off into our little corners of the cosplay world, but we hope to see you all around. Again, make sure you follow everybody here, follow and support Cosplay Tea Time. We hope to see you later for tea, but until then, we hope everyone is taking care and staying safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.